So the question that I want to ask you guys, and let me know if it bothers you as well. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another wonderful, fun-filled day at the Greg A Garage. So before we get started, we have a couple updates on the first gen on the 05 triple turbo truck. Talked to the body guy actually slightly before Memorial Day weekend. Called me, said he had great news and some really bad news. Great news is the body work's done, everything was shot. Left the shop with the heat on, everything was good, everything was drying great. Came back and something must have happened with his compressor. Something, but the paint, anyway, long story short, the paint got messed up and now has to be redone, which just delays us another week. Hopefully, I'm not even going to give you another week because I've been saying that the bodywork's going to be done in a week for months. So the bodywork will eventually get done. We are going to be working on that tonight to try and get the fuel system wrapped up. Update on the first gen, I got a Mishimoto radiator, seeing that our radiator took a crap and basically started leaking out of a couple different holes when we started disassembling for the front end. So the radiator, not radiator, the radiator, I know that bothers a lot of people out there, is en route but is shipping from California, and the tracking number says next Tuesday. So delays on everything, unfortunately. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to work on the fuel system, get that completely wrapped up. We got to change the oil in it. That way, when the body work is here, the truck is done, ready to go, and that's my goal. The first gen, we'll be waiting on parts for who knows how long. But anyway, before we get started here, we're actually going to be throwing the wheels on the 05 too. I'm all over the place again, per usual. But let's go over something, because this really kind of bothers me, and maybe there's a hidden reason. Maybe one of you guys works for FedEx, UPS, USPS, I don't know. But let me ask you a question. So what we got from our buddy, as always, Garofalo Enterprises, where all the parts come. This is a wastegate plug for our HE351 turbo that we are going to be using on the first gen. Now, let's get into something real quick, and then I'll actually get to the question that I was going to ask you. Basically, my plans, because I've been asked this, the wastegate, if you clock the turbo the way I want to clock it, and maybe it'll make more sense once we get it on the truck, I'll go over it then again. What we're going to be doing for the time being, seeing that this is not really the end-all be-all turbo that's going on the first gen. I have some other big plans as far as fuel and air goes for that truck, but we're going to be running that for the time being, get the truck running, get the bugs worked out. We are going to be welding the wastegate shut. Now, I know a lot of you may not agree with that, but what we're doing, we're going to be running stock fuel on that truck, meaning, you know, no injectors. You know, that turbo is not going to be pushed out of the normal, what a common rail would be pushing. If you put tunes and some supporting mods on your stock common rail, you could probably hit 40, 50 pounds of boost on that charger, and they might not like that, but they live. On the first gen, if we hit 35, 40, we'll be doing great on stock fuel on a first gen. So it's going to be well within its means. We're going to have gauges, we're going to be monitoring it, but that baby's getting welded shut, because once you clock them, the wastegate actuator is in a completely different spot. So hence the reason for this little plug. So the question that I want to ask you guys, and let me know if it bothers you as well. This little plug came in this box, which then came in this box. All for this little guy. I didn't even look. Shipping probably cost $20 for this. But there's probably a hidden reason. I'm probably whining for no reason. But anyway, I just wonder. I mean, why do you have to put it in a box that big? But I'll shut up now. So we got the 05 jacked up. We're actually going to put the forces on, put the center caps on, get them completely on. We're then going to put the truck on the race ramps, get it up a little higher. This truck sits really low, so crawling underneath it to run the fuel lines and everything is kind of a bit of a pain. So that's what we're starting with as soon as Greg shuts up. Alrighty guys, so on the 05 we are using a set of metal lugs, spiked lug nuts, instead of the VMS Racing lug nuts. We had purchased these previous to getting hooked up with those guys. These are a one-piece design as opposed to the two-piece that has the removable tips just in case you wanted to change up the look just a little bit. These require a special longer key which comes with the lug nuts. These metal lugs also have they're not quite gloss black. The VMS Racing lug nuts that we got for the first gen are actually a lot more gloss black, which would match the wheel just a little bit better. The lug nuts on the first gen are 1/2 by 20 though. They are not 9/16, hence the reason why we don't just swap them. But nevertheless, a great looking lug nut. Wheel number 3, done. So here's a quick look. Got the wheels and tires all mounted up, all on. Truck's up on the ramps, get it up a little bit higher. Not gonna lie, I've been getting distracted all over the place. It's already like 8:30 and that's all I've gotten done. I started looking at some of the fittings. So I did misorder some fittings. I did get the right fittings for the sump and here, but missed some fittings for the returns and stuff like that. So gotta reorder some fittings, but we have to get something else done tonight. So I am going to take off, at least get the sending unit out. All right, so you guys have seen me take out a sending unit multiple times. You guys have seen how I have modified the bottom to be completely open. Basically, what my sending unit is completely doing now is returning for each CP3. Each CP3 on this truck specifically is returning to the top of the sending unit. Now, I have these adapters, and honestly, I do not even remember the part number. I'm not really sure, so if somebody's going to ask, I'm honestly completely unsure. There's plenty of forums online that have these part numbers probably, but basically what these are fittings that go from a push lock to a number 6 AN. I have number 6 AN or JIC, whatever you want to call it, returns for pretty much everything individually on this truck. I'm running two 12mm CP3s, and what I believe is happening is, you know, at idle or low fuel demands, is that the pumps are returning too much fuel and they can't get through these style fittings basically, especially this one over here. Oh, that's the wrong way. This one isn't really too bad, but I really just want to streamline, make sure everything is a straight through number 6, not neck down in any way, shape, or form. So that is why we are basically taking these off. I'm going to basically modify this whole top here, run bulkhead style fittings, which I will show you guys. Basically, we're just gonna run a really just straight through bulkhead style on the bottom to number 6 JIC. We are going to drill this out, get this out of here completely, basically run them just like this, which probably won't happen tonight seeing that it's getting late and Greg gets distracted too easily, but you get the idea. So I'm just going to show you, you can kind of see the hole diameters of each one. You can see that one's smaller, which is basically meant for your factory return. That is actually supposed to be your factory supply. And now, which you probably can't see, this number 6 is quite a bit bigger than this one. A heck of a lot bigger than that one. So, just to give you an idea. Now, this is definitely not something that you need to worry about on your factory truck, on your 800 horsepower truck. This is something, you know, if you're running twin 12mm pumps, you know, I'm not sure if this is honestly even really needed. A lot of guys, when they get up to running 212mm CP3s, they're running fuel cells anyway, not going back through their sending unit, but seeing that Greg likes to be different and still wants to drive his truck on the street, we are still using the factory tank, factory sending unit, because I'm just not ready to give up that life yet. All right, so we did also manage to, So we did also manage to get out our Beans diesel fuel sump from the bottom of the tank. What we are now switching to, and I know some of you guys may have already heard this, but we got new people every day, so what we're switching to is a GNR fuel sump designed to retrofit in the, I believe it's a 3-inch hole saw that the Bean sump has you drill. They have a retrofit one that fits in the same, has a little bit bigger O-ring. This is actually designed for when fuel sumps first came out. They actually made you drill like 8-10 holes in your tank before this O-ring design even came out. This is actually meant to encompass that if you have a leaky fuel sump to begin with. Basically what they will do if you call them up, and not everybody really needs dual feed sump, but what they'll do is usually their return comes through here from the bottom. Basically now they'll machine this out, and now I have a dual feed. So that is what we are going to be switching to. It's a little too shiny, but hey, that'll work, no big deal. So we'll get this in there, and then these will both feed both of our air dogs. And probably what we will do in the future, we'll probably hold on to the Bean sump, and seeing that the first gen doesn't have anything yet, I'm assuming that we probably will eventually in the future sometime get an air dog for our first gen project, seeing that we love air dogs so much. Did I say air dog? Air dog? Does your truck have an air dog? If it doesn't, it should have an air dog. Air dog. Air dog times 2. Air dog times 2 again. And before you say anything, no, I do not get paid to say that. I'm not sponsored. Honestly, they just have the best lift pump on the market. Hands down, it's what every single truck that comes into my driveway gets, what I recommend. It's just hands down, like I said, it's what I recommend. Even a stock truck can benefit from a lift pump in some way, shape, or form, not even talking about performance-wise. So if you do not have a lift pump, go check out AirDog. You will not be disappointed one bit. If you need to order them, our parts man, Michael Garofalo Enterprises, I say his name probably every damn video, but anyway, that's probably going to do it for this video, guys. One thing I do want to mention, if the weather holds out, which as you can tell it likes to rain on and off every day, we'll be at Island Dragway for the makeup event for the Super Show Rigs event that we were at last time. I know it rained out. It got rained out, and it doesn't. This weekend doesn't look very promising. But if it holds out, if it looks like a slight chance of some sunshine, we will be there with the scrap truck. My trucks, they like to hold down my pavement and my cement floors. They don't want them walking away, so we just want to make sure the garage and the driveway don't go anywhere. So they're going to stay here where they usually are, but John's truck will hopefully be out there. I know you guys are saying it. You're like, this guy's junk never moves. He works on it a lot, but man, they never even move. But I know. Don't get me started, man. I know. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I feel like there was something else I was going to tell you, but that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. As always, hit that like button before you leave. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You might not see me tomorrow. The AC guy's coming. The lawn needs to get cut. Possibly. I'll do my best. I don't know. Okay, never mind. I remember there was one last thing I was going to show you guys. Sneak peek of a part for the first gen. Some of you guys are going to love it. Some of you guys are going to hate it. Okay, love you, bye.